So in this video, we're going to be learning how to put on a transitional lead and how to work with the dog using the transitional lead. So we're going to use Cowboy. Cowboy, good boy. We're going to be using Cowboy. And actually, before I even show this on him, this is silly, but I'm going to show it on me. So transitional lead is one piece. You link it to the collar with the safety, but the whole thing is just one piece here, leash and slip lead. So what you're going to do, it might be kind of more like this when you start. You're going to pull so that you have a whole loop here with the dog. This piece, you see the metal piece here, can slide kind of in and out. At the beginning, you're going to want it at the end. And then you're going to put it over the dog's head, just like a necklace. And then here, this piece, you're going to take the figure 8, the metal figure 8, goes up under the dog's chin. This piece goes over their nose, and then it tightens like this. So when you do this, you actually end up putting pressure on the dog's nose. So pulling up is going to push it down in the front. The pressure can be calming for some dogs, which is really good, and it also just gives you better control over their head in general. So once it's on, then you're going to clip this safety to the D-ring on their collar, so that if they slip out somehow, then you're still attached to them. So I'm going to show you now on Cowboy. Cowboy, good boy. So what I normally do is I will hold the collar with one hand, and you can lefty, righty, whatever works best for you. Then I take this slip lead here, this big loop, and I put it over the dog's head. I hold this part here with the collar so that the dog, mainly so the dog can't move around, and that this is in the right place. With my other hand, I take this piece here, and I kind of like starfish my hand out like that. So it pushes the metal piece up. There's other ways to do this too, but this is just the way I found works for me. Starfish it up, and then I can use my hand to put it over his nose. And then I can let the collar go over here, drop the lead, and I can tighten it. And now you'll see, this is very off-center, right? This is kind of like on the very side of his head. So, and Cowboy's never had one of these before, so we'll see how it goes. But it's off to the side. So where you want it to be is right between his ears, or just behind. So I'm going to grab the long piece where this metal loop is. I'm going to grab the whole thing. I'm going to grab the nose piece, and I'm going to jiggle kind of in opposite directions so that I can get this centered. It's still a little bit off. I'm going to do it a little bit more. Okay, so it's right here, centered behind his nose. Yes, a good boy. And you'll see some dogs have this reaction where they kind of like turn off. Other dogs have this kind of fight reaction, and they will really paw at it on their nose. But usually we get this like freeze reaction. Well, I won't say usually, but sometimes if you get lucky. And then here, buddy, come here, boy. So then on here, we have a stopper piece, good boy, and you're going to press it and slide it all the way down. The stopper is going to go right behind their head. So that's what's going to keep the whole thing from unraveling. It's not super tight, okay? So if I can still put 2 fingers under here, and theoretically if you worked hard enough, you could pull it off. And I'll explain why in just a minute. This is the safety, it's the most important part. Don't forget, once you have everything else done, you're going to clip the safety to the D-ring on the collar. Just like with a regular leash, make sure you don't clip it on the key ring. Okay, so it's on the D-ring, and we're safe. Now, so with this piece here, you'll see, if I'm pulling up, it's putting pressure here. The way this works is that basically the difference between pressure and no pressure. And that's why it can't be super tight. If it's super tight, he's going to feel like I'm always pulling up on it. But he needs to be able to feel the difference between tight and no pressure. So from here, this might be a little bit harder if you have a dog that's really freaking out right now. Sometimes they'll jump and they'll spin and they'll paw. This is the best possible reaction to this. But don't worry if your dog is doing that first. It's not hurting them. It's not like they're freaking themselves out really, but it's not. They can still eat. They can still drink. They can still bark. It's not a muzzle. It's nothing like that. So they just have to get used to it. And then, so when you're actually walking with the dog here, what you're gonna wanna do is in one hand, have a leash lock over here, a thumb lock. So you're gonna put the loop over your thumb and you're gonna hold it in your hand like this. You don't ever wanna wrap a leash around your wrist because if the dog pulled away really hard, it could actually break your wrist. So never around your wrist, thumb lock here, and grab. Come here, buddy. So then on the other side, and this is for safety, right? So on this side, and you'll see here that it's actually slipped off to the side a little bit. I'm just gonna readjust it. I jiggle in opposite directions until you're center. Okay. So now you have the leash here. When you're walking, the dog should be next to you. If he's ahead of you, it's gonna be pulling back and it's not gonna be working in the same way where pulling up puts the pressure on the nose. When you're walking, you wanna remain loose. A lot of people will take this and pull up and walk like this. And that's no good, right? Because then he feels tension and pressure all the time. So this, what you want to do is have him next to you or just behind, okay? And you're going to keep a loose hand here. How about a foot, a little bit more, depending on how tall the dog is, to where you're holding on. He's just turned off, which is good, but he'll figure it out. So with this, good boy. And then every time he gets ahead of you, you're going to stop. You're just going to pull up until he stops. He stops, so I'm going to let the pressure go. Boy, Carol, can you sit? And sometimes dogs will have this automatic reaction if you're putting gentle constant pressure up, that they will sit. Good boy. And as soon as their butt hits the ground, you want to release that pressure so that they know that that was what you wanted. So we're going to try again. Ready, cowboy? Let's go. We're just going to walk in circles. He's going to be a little confused. Just normal. Good boy. Good job, buddy. And so as soon as he starts to kind of paw at it, I stopped. And I gave him a little pressure up and he stopped. So I let go. Let's go, buddy. Good boy. That's so good. And lots of praise as he's doing the right thing. Okay, you can use treats as for positive reinforcement. It's kind of complicated to get the timing right sometimes when they're learning new things, so I like to just let it be pressure, no pressure. The no pressure is the positive reinforcement. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Good job. Let's go. Good boy. And you'll see he's getting the hang of it. Good boy. Sit. Sometimes just a little. Yeah, good boy. And I'll say this is not the normal reaction that most dogs have to this the first time. Most of them are going to be freaking out, trying to get it out their nose. And every step you take, as soon as they start to try to paw at it, you're going to stop, you're going to pressure up until they sit, and then you're going to wait. And then you're going to take another step. You're probably going to keep doing it. Keep at it. Stay strong. Because the more we let them decide how the walk is going to go, then the more they're going to decide how the walk is going to go. So, cowboy, you're very cute. All right, so we're going to take one more walk. Let's go. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Let's go this way. And you'll see that I'm actually only using 2 fingers on the leash over here. I have it real strong over here, just in case. But I'm not using a fist or my entire arm to kind of guide him. I'm really just using it as like a redirection. So if he's, say, going after something over there, I can say, let's go this way. Or if he's going after something over here, I can say, okay, let's go this way. Good boy. And as soon as he's doing the right thing, walking right next to me, there's 0 pressure. It's all slack between my hand and his head. So that is how we use transitional leash.